Good morning, people and fellow gardeners. I thought I'd start my little trip up the garden plot, whatever, with this lovely plum tree. It actually comes over the wall, but it comes over here, and we've got plums, little plums ripening up. Loads of them this year, barely any last year. Don't think I've got a single one actually last year, but they are ripening up beautifully and they taste gorgeous. And I can tell you that if you put them in a crumble, they are nearly as nice as a rhubarb crumble. So I'll slowly go round and walk you up the garden path. I've pulled up those 3 of those potato plants there, pathetic. I've stood that one up so it faces the sun a bit more and it has cheered up quite a lot, so I'm hoping for the best with this row of potatoes. Now they do seem more cheerful. They are getting a bit back-endish now, but I believe that's just an elderly leaf and nothing any more sinister, so I'll just pull that off and take you a bit further up. The next thing I wanted to show you was the Christmas potatoes I planted up have started sprouting. So, given that it's been a nice, warm, fairly sunny summer so far, I think we have a chance of getting some decent new potatoes for Christmas, or at least late autumn anyway. These are some Japanese that I've put out, where I pulled up all the broad beans, and they are being watered regularly. They're very sheltered by this lovely old oak tree, which means that they don't get scorched by the sun, but they also don't get a whole load of water. So later on this morning, before I go in, I think I'll do a watering can of water along this so they can get better established. I've put out little sprouts. That one I didn't have space for a cover for. That's a cover that I've cobbled together, and there's 2 plants underneath there. You have to take my word for it. I'm not going to risk falling down the bank. Got carrots in there. Fingers crossed that the grass cuttings are keeping the moist soil fertile for them. And then 6 more plants of Brussels sprouts in there. That's all quite exciting. Pongo beans have been giving us some lovely meals and they taste gorgeous. These aren't quite ready yet, but another couple of days I'll be able to pick them. I have been getting lots of strawberries off this little bed here, loads of them. And they have been divine, I presume again because we've had plenty of sunny warm weather. I just thinned out my onions. I mean, they are going over, but I just sort of hope, winning over expectation really, that they'll get a little bit bigger. I have got quite a few in storage now, so I don't need really big ones, but all the same. That blueberry bush, not done too well. As I say, I'm going to move it in the autumn. The swede, however, well, there's one there that needs encouragement. There's one there that's gone a bit tubular, but the others I think are doing very nicely. And here's a rogue carrot in here that I'm leaving to grow a bit bigger, because I did sow this as a bed of carrots and only 2 came up. I've eaten one of them, absolutely delicious. So if I raise you up, you can see I've been pulling out the calendula that's going to seed, but I'm letting it go to seed, so it does look a bit scrappy at the moment, so it can self-seed where it likes to, hopefully on that bank down there, so we have more colour there next year. Those thistles now they've been lovely for the pollinators, but they need trimming back now, because the seeds will just get everywhere. I'm leaving the rhubarb now until next year. Let it feed the roots and get nice and sturdy and solid. But oh, my tomatoes! They are so happy against this wall. So healthy and happy, and lots of trusses. I'm not letting them get too tall. That one's pretty tall over there, but on the whole I'm not getting them too tall because I know outside season for tomatoes in north of the country is fairly limited, but I've got a couple that are ready to pick now. I'm going to wait until I've got a handful ready to pick, and then I'll have them with my lunch. And see more trusses appearing. Such healthy plants. Quite excited about them, really. This is a carrot that I left to go to seed from last year, and it's been very obliging. So, not having done it before, I'm not sure how long to leave the heads. I presume until they go really brown and crisp, and then I'll shake them into a paper bag. I'm hoping that's right. The parsnips are picking up from when they were covered up by the mange too, and they're looking really happy and healthy now, so I think we'll be all right for those. I've put a row of Japanese greens in. I've also put another row of pongos that I'm hoping will pick up once they've established themselves. We had a roasted beetroot, a really big one, Mal, and it was really juicy and gorgeous and tasty. I think they are better after they've had a bit of frost on them, but all the same it was lovely. I've pulled up some potatoes and they're actually not as bad as I thought they were going to be. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a bountiful harvest, but at least there are some potatoes and they're not a bad size. I've been visiting, this is my broccoli, and I've been visiting the broccoli and the swede on a regular basis because of, let's see if I can show you, these little buggers here. These are cabbage white seeds, no, eggs, and if I let them develop and hatch out, they will become little caterpillars. So on a regular basis, I'm afraid I come along and I squish them. I do have others that are available, and I have lots of nasturtiums about as well, so it's not like I'm not allowing any habitat for them, it's just I want them to lay off my brassicas. I've just been squeezing the cabbages in that row down there, and they're not really quite ready to come up yet, out. So they're not a big enough, firm enough head, so I'll leave them for a few more weeks. These potatoes that came out of my compost bin, I could do with a bit of water, but they are doing very well. And I have one more volunteer potato here. I just do 1 or 2 potatoes for a meal here and there, but I'll show you these from the plants that I've picked up. So they're not many of them, but they're a good size and they look healthy. So if I get a few of those, that'll see us through hopefully until the middle of the winter anyway. And my compost is coming on nicely. So this is my new bag, and that's getting a mixture of greens and browns from the leaf bags that I collected at the bottom of the slope. And this is the compost that was full to the top, but as you can see is shrinking down, as is that one. So that's going to be a nice addition to the compost that I have to buy next year. So yeah, it's looking a bit gaspy and halfway through summer, but it's providing a lot of food. Oh, these carrots. Carrots are really tasty, quite big now, and I didn't thin them out. So I have a kind of hodgepodge of some big and some little. I just pull them up as I go along. and they're really nice. So there we are, everybody. The vegetable garden continues, and I've kind of run out of things to put out now, so I'm hoping that the new things that I put out will take on, and then it will be a case of green manure. And I have Phacelia, and I have leftover beans seeds, and I have mustard. So I will just be putting those out on beds that become properly empty, and so the beds stay covered over the winter months. Because of the slope, I think it'll help with avoiding erosion on my soil beds, if you see what I mean, instead of